The other thing is Lori Haas, there was a video made where VCL Lobby Day was sort of shown. It was actually a fairly balanced thing on a CBS, I don't know what you call it, documentary thing. I was kind of amazed it was relatively balanced for them. But they interviewed Lori Haas, who is this woman that's, one of the gun control people, one of the leading ones in the Richmond area and in Virginia. And she says, "Oh yeah, they want to look at the magazine, higher capacity magazines, assault weapons, and they want to do something about open carry and concealed carry." So that's at least on her wish list. But keep in mind, she's right there with the governor. And, he's in her pocket. And she was the one she's a paid lobbyist, and they assigned her to the Crime Commission. The Crime Commission is supposed to be a nonpartisan commission set up by the General Assembly to study crime and gun laws and all different kinds of laws dealing with crime. And she's on it. She's a paid lobbyist. That totally discredits the whole thing. But this, again, is payback to Bloomberg to do something like that. But anyhow, she's talking about that. So there is a very good chance they're coming after open carry and concealed carry in some way. We don't know what. I doubt they'll get rid of concealed carry, but they could make it a lot harder to get a permit or further restrictions on where you can carry. And I tell you what, they're also probably going to come for reciprocity. So if you don't mind not being able to carry in half of the United States, then sit at home and don't do anything. If you do mind, come out to that caravan and help us fight this stuff.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that the folks who are watching and listening to this, they mind very much, and they will be out there if they are Virginians. And heck, you know what? You don't even have to be a Virginian. We had in January, we had folks, I think come as far away. Didn't we have somebody from Hawaii show up?
I don't remember Hawaii. Could have been. I can tell you California, Oregon, Nevada, Massachusetts and other places too, where they've got their own problems that they showed up. I can tell you now already people have contacted me and said, I'm going to be there. I feel kind of sorry for them. They're driving a long way. Only keep driving. Although, again, they can always park and walk around downtown Richmond. But, there they are. They're coming from all over. And so, again, I don't know what tricks the governor's going to try to pull to discourage it. Last time it was, oh my gosh, Antifa's going to show up and the white supremacists are going to be there and there's going to be a clash, blah, 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 trying to scare people off. And they probably did scare off a bunch. We were expecting 100,000 and we got 50,000. But so who knows what they're going to try. We've still got a month and a half.
Yeah. But, we'll be staying in touch. Yeah, we're going to keep folks up to date here, and I'm going to ask you to come back on the program several times here before January 18th rolls around. But I do appreciate you joining us today. VCDL.org, that's the website. Philip Van Cleve, have a very happy Thanksgiving, sir. Thanks for coming on the show today.
You too, Cam. Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon. So there you go. We will definitely keep you up to date on new developments here, but honestly, just go to VCDL.org. You can sign up for their alerts. You'll get email alerts on a regular basis, and they'll let you know the latest details as well. But I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think this is going to be a fantastic event, and you cannot, no matter how many games you try to play with our First Amendment rights, you cannot stop us from defending our Second Amendment rights. All right, on to today's armed citizen story, our good deed of the day, and our recidivist report, which actually goes back to yesterday's armed citizen story. We told you yesterday about a burglar in Miami-Dade who was shot and killed, trying to break into a home where a 13-year-old boy was there alone. The 13-year-old called his parents. His dad, an off-duty Miami police officer, rushed to the house, confronted the burglar, shot and killed the burglar. Well, now we're learning a little bit more about the identity of that suspect. The Miami Herald reporting that the intruder has been identified as a guy who was already known to law enforcement, somebody who, a convicted burglar, 29-year-old Anthony Arias, who the Miami Herald says earlier spent years in a Florida prison for a series of burglaries. Yeah. Arias was killed on Monday afternoon after police say he tried breaking into a home using a large screwdriver. Yeah, the 13-year-old, as I said, called his parents. Now, here's the thing. Back in September, according to the Miami Herald, Arias finished state probation for a series of felony convictions for which he served more than 6 years in prison. 4 of those convictions were for burglaries. Miami Herald doesn't tell us how many years he spent in prison. Oh, excuse me, just more than 6, right? That's all we know. We also don't know how many years he was eligible for. So it's one thing to say, look, Arias was in prison for 6 years. I mean, that is a substantial amount of time behind bars. But what was he actually sentenced to? Was he sentenced to 6 years? Because I kind of doubt that. Was he sentenced to 12? Was he sentenced to 20? That we still don't know. What we do know is that Mr. Arias had a lengthy criminal history, again, had just been released from probation back in September, and apparently his crime-free life didn't stick. And he decided that he was going to engage in more criminal behavior, and unfortunately, that was a decision that cost him his life. Now, today's armed citizen story from San Antonio, Texas, where a woman shot and killed her ex-boyfriend as he was trying to break into her apartment. This was last Friday, I believe, and I confess, I missed this story. I do generally think I have, do a pretty good job of keeping up with these things, but this one flew under my radar. Fox in San Antonio says that the woman was home and the man got inside of her apartment using the sliding glass door. That's when she picked up a gun and she shot him. Officers at the scene said the shooting, quote, may have been in self-defense. They said that the shooting remained under investigation. If the ex-boyfriend broke into her home, yeah, that was self-defense. And so far, by the way, I've looked for updates to this story since it was originally reported. Haven't seen anything else. So I'm guessing the news media has lost interest because the woman was acting in self-defense, will not be facing charges. But we'll see if we can find some more details for you, perhaps on Monday's Cam and Company. But again, I'm so glad that she was able to protect herself. And finally today, our good deed of the day. I love this story for a couple of reasons. This is from Bedford County, PA. Ryan Putt, who's a student at the Tussey Mountain School District, was actually at school, which is unusual because in Virginia, so many of our in-person schools, it's not happening. So I was a little shocked and pleased that Ryan got to go to school. So he's there and he's eating lunch, and he says, I was eating my chicken patty, eating it way too fast, didn't chew it very much, and then a piece of it got stuck in my throat. So Ryan ran over to the nearest adult, the school resource officer, David Busick, and asked Busick for help. And David Busick said, he came right up to me. He said, I actually thought he was sick at first, and I tried to get him over to a garbage can. Ryan said I was gagging a lot. He asked me if I was choking, and I nodded my head, and he performed the Heimlich on me. Officer Busick says, this means the world to me. Just knowing that you could be there for someone in a time of need. And Ryan Putt, he's pretty thrilled as well. He says, I wouldn't be here without him. I mean, if Mr. Busick wasn't there, what would have happened to me? My life would have ended there. That's just something to hold on to for the rest of my life. I got to tell you, that's some... Now, maybe he forgets about it 3 weeks from now because he's, 9 years old. But that's a pretty compelling statement from young Ryan there, who may have confronted his own mortality at a very, very tender age. So in the right place, at the right time, willing and able to do the right thing. Officer Dave Busick there with the Saxton Borough Police Department, the school resource officer at Tussey Mountain School District. We thank you, sir, for your very, very good deed. Now, that is all the time we've got for you on this edition of Bearing Arms Cam and Company. I want to thank you for being a part of the program as well. I am very, very thankful for your support, both here on Bearing Arms Cam and Company at bearingarms.com. Those of you who follow the Patreon page, patreon.com/Cam Edwards. Again, I am very grateful and very thankful that you are a part of my life, that we have this community here. And I am looking forward to being back behind the microphone on Monday here with another edition of Bearing Arms Cam and Company. Now, I don't know why this would be the case. I really don't. But if you just think to yourself, darn it, I miss that cam guy. Tomorrow or Friday morning, you can get up bright and early, because I'm getting up bright and early. And you can listen in on WMAL's morning show from 5 to 9 a.m. I've been filling in all week with Mary Walter, and I will be doing so on Thanksgiving the day after as well. So you can find me there. You can read up on all of the latest developments at BearingArms.com. But otherwise, do try to enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully you'll get a chance to spend it with the ones that you love. And we'll see you again on Monday with another edition of Bearing Arms Cam and Company. Until then, be well, be safe, and be free.